The Art of Discretion, navigating conversational etiquette in modern society in an age where digital interactions often overshadow face-to-face communication. Mastering conversational discretion has become both an art form and necessity. The modern gentleman or lady understands that true elegance lies not only in appearance but also in the subtleties of verbal exchange. Whether at a high society gala or a casual coffee meetup, knowing when to speak, what to say, and how to listen can determine social success. This guide explores the nuanced world of conversation manners through 10 critical pillars. From understanding cultural nuances to avoiding common missteps, we'll delve into practices that elevate your discourse while maintaining respect for others' comfort levels. Let's embark on this journey towards becoming a more polished conversationalist. Embracing the unspoken rules of conversation, sophisticated dialogue flows seamlessly between participants, each contributing without dominating the discussion. This balance requires awareness of natural pauses, allowing others room to respond thoughtfully rather than rushing to fill silences with unnecessary commentary. Remember that thoughtful silence is often more refined than a hastily constructed reply. Vocal tone plays as crucial role as word choice itself. A gentle inflection shows consideration while harshness or monotone delivery signals disinterest. Practice varying pitch and pace to maintain engagement without appearing overly theatrical or dismissive. These subtle adjustments create a more inviting atmosphere for meaningful exchanges. Avoid interrupting, allow speakers to complete their thoughts before responding. This demonstrates active listening skills essential for building rapport. Respect personal space, maintain appropriate physical distance during conversations, especially in formal settings where proximity may be perceived as intrusive. Adapt speaking volume, modulate voice level according to environment. Excessive loudness is often considered rude even when intending friendliness. Negotiating sensitive topics with grace. Certain subjects require particular care due to their potential divisiveness. Religious beliefs, political affiliations, and personal tragedies are classic examples that demand careful handling. Approach these topics with genuine curiosity rather than preconceived notions about others' views. Cultural sensitivity remains vital when discussing anything potentially controversial. In international contexts, consider geopolitical tensions that might make certain statements uncomfortable. Researching basic cultural norms beforehand can prevent unintended offense in cross-cultural dialogues. Maintain neutrality. Refrain from pushing agendas or trying to convert others to your perspective unless invited by the speaker themselves. Listen. Dominance versus engagement. Finding balance. Confident individuals naturally take leadership roles in discussions, but moderation prevents coming across as overbearing. Recognize signs that someone wants to contribute. Eye contact, leaning forward, brief pauses indicate readiness to speak. Strategic storytelling adds depth to conversations without monopolizing time. Share anecdotes judiciously, ensuring they relate to current topics rather than unrelated past experiences. Keep narratives concise yet informative to maintain relevance. Note, while sharing personal stories builds connection, oversharing intimate details risks veering into inappropriate territory. Assess context carefully before disclosing private information. The delicate dance of small talk. Superficial conversations serve as lubricants for deeper connections. Mastering small talk involves asking open-ended questions that invite elaboration instead of yes/no responses. What did you think about the new exhibition? Invites more substantial replies than did you enjoy the show? Genuine interest transforms mundane topics into opportunities for meaningful interaction. When discussing weather patterns or restaurant menus, approach them with curiosity rather than boredom. Ask follow-up questions based on others' responses to deepen the exchange naturally. Practice reading nonverbal cues to gauge appropriateness of topics. If someone seems uninterested in a subject, gently pivot to something else, showing attentiveness to their preferences. Tonality and intonation. The invisible language. Verbal cadence influences perception far beyond actual words spoken. Monotone delivery conveys apathy while energetic pacing suggests enthusiasm. Vary intonation purposefully to match emotional resonance behind messages being conveyed. Paying attention to vocal projection maintains clarity without overwhelming others. Adjust volume based on setting. Whispering in quiet environments keeps dialogue private, whereas raising voice slightly in louder spaces ensures comprehension without shouting. In group situations, be conscious of turning toward listeners to ensure everyone feels included in the conversation flow. This simple gesture promotes inclusivity and fosters stronger communal bonds among participants. Mastering silence. The power of pauses. Thoughtful pauses allow processing of complex ideas and demonstrate respect for others' cognitive efforts. Rather than filling every lull with filler words, use moments to collect your thoughts intentionally. Pausing strategically enhances persuasion techniques by creating anticipation and emphasis points within speeches or arguments. These deliberate silences give weight to key messages, making them more memorable and impactful. Observant listeners recognize when silence is used as a tool for reflection rather than avoidance. This discernment enables graceful transitions back into dialogue at optimal times. The pitfalls of oversharing. Knowing when enough is enough. While openness builds trust gradually, excess disclosure can create discomfort or awkwardness. Gauge appropriate intimacy levels based on relationship stages and situational appropriateness. Never assume familiarity that hasn't been established through prior interaction. Personal boundaries vary significantly depending on individual personalities and backgrounds. Pay attention to nonverbal indicators that suggest someone prefers less personal conversation rather than pushing further into sensitive areas. Beware of oversharing via electronic devices or phone calls where visual context is absent. Written communication lacks the nuance present in face-to-face interactions, which makes controlling disclosure levels particularly challenging online. The importance of active listening. Focused attention creates the foundation for quality conversations. Give full presence by minimizing distractions like checking phones or glancing around the room unnecessarily. Your undivided attention signals value placed upon the speaker's input. Mirroring body language reinforces empathy and mutual understanding. Match posture subtly, nod occasionally, and make consistent eye contact to convey engagement without seeming overly intense or intimidating. Ask clarifying questions to confirm understanding rather than assuming assumptions about meaning. This practice strengthens connections by demonstrating commitment to comprehending others' viewpoints thoroughly. Cultivating empathy through conscious communication. Empathetic conversation considers both expressed feelings and underlying emotions. Look beneath surface-level descriptions to understand motivations driving people's behaviors and choices. This deeper insight allows for more compassionate engagements. Display patience when dealing with emotionally charged discussions. Allow time for cooling down periods rather than responding impulsively to heightened passions. Calm reactions model desirable behavior for managing difficult emotions constructively. Recognize that different people process information at various speeds. Provide ample opportunity for reflection without pressuring those who need extra time before forming opinions. Handling conflict with diplomacy. Disagreements are inevitable in human interactions, but respectful resolution defines maturity in communication skills. Focus on issue specifics rather than attacking individuals personally whenever possible. This distinction preserves dignity for all involved parties. Use I statements to express concerns clearly without sounding accusatory. For example, saying "I feel concerned about" instead of "you always" reduces defensiveness and opens pathways toward compromise solutions. When tempers rise unexpectedly, politely excuse yourself temporarily until emotions settle enough for continued discussion productively. Leaving briefly provides much-needed breathing space during tense exchanges. The role of humor in social interactions. Appropriate humor lightens moods and fosters camaraderie when applied skillfully. However, jokes must be culturally sensitive considering diverse backgrounds represented within any gathering. Know which topics remain off-limits regarding serious issues affecting communities. Raise laughter through observational comedy focused on universal experiences rather than targeting specific groups for amusement purposes. Shared chuckles strengthen relationships built on mutual appreciation rather than divisive punchlines. Monitor reaction levels closely after delivering quips. Positive responses indicate successful levity, whereas negative ones signal need for caution, adjusting comedic approaches accordingly. Respecting boundaries. When to withdraw and re-enter conversations. Honor others' need for privacy by recognizing cues indicating withdrawal desires. Some individuals prefer shorter interactions followed by independent activities rather than prolonged engagements. If you sense discomfort during discussions, gracefully exit the conversation without abruptly cutting ties entirely. Offer future reconnection opportunities through friendly farewells, acknowledging shared interests still exist. Re-entry strategies depend heavily on initial impressions made during separation intervals. Return smoothly by referencing previous topics organically instead of launching into completely novel subjects suddenly. Conclusion: refining conversational finesse takes continuous effort combined with self-awareness regarding impact made upon others through speech patterns and behavioral tendencies. These guidelines provide foundational principles applicable across various life scenarios. Regular practice applying these principles will eventually shape instinctual habits that define elegant communication styles preferred amongst cultured societies worldwide. Begin today by consciously observing how you interact verbally with others around you.